Number 3. What is a why element? What is a why element? Number 3. I gave you 7 things. What is a why? What is number 3? A why element are elements of youth, and these elements have the power to cause church growth. Without the why elements, churches rarely grow. 16 teenagers and 20s not likely to grow. It's true. That's a reality. So where you see pastors trying to show their aged men, the Bible has revelations for aged men. It is not included in these ones. Wars and things. Third why element. Third why characteristic. Young element number 3. Willing obedience. Wow. Willing, eager obedience. Young people are eager and willingly obedient. You said we should paint our faces red. So should it be deep red or light red? And they are very excited that everybody coming to church is painting his face red. The old people will ask, why would we do something like that? What are you trying to achieve? It doesn't make sense. The Bible says, if you be willing, Isaiah verse 19, chapter 1. If you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. That means you will have growth. Willingness and obedience leads to growth. Not just obedience, willing obedience. The last time I was in this area, I gave some instructions. If it had been willingly obeyed, we would be looking at different levels of prosperity today. And different levels of church growth. Different levels of church of church development. Yes. Willing obedience. Yes. What has brought all the problems? The Lord said, for God doth know that in the day you shall eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that it was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes. You see, these are options and alternatives to what God has said, with good reasons. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. She saw there were other factors apart from what God said when he was giving the instructions. Most people who don't obey have other things in their minds. They have other things in their mind. That's why they don't follow the things. And things don't work out. But a young person hasn't got any other thing. He said, my father said I should do this. And there's no alternatives, no options, no variations. You see, you must look at the other thoughts. When she saw that the tree was good for food. So, but there's food. We can get food. It was pleasant to the eyes. We're going to have something to see nice. A tree that's going to make one wise. She said, look, I think he didn't think about all this when he took that decision. And he told us what to do. Many of my pastors, even bishops, they have other things in their minds. When you say do this, there's something else in their minds. There's something else in their minds that makes them not actually do what you say they should do. So they don't experience the church growth that I have experienced by the grace of God, and the prosperity that I have experienced. Yes. And not only that, but disobedience brings curses. So when they finish, they say, God, the curse, look, what God told to Adam, he told you are finished. You are finished. I am going to reverse you in the wildest way. I will reverse you and inhibit and cause you to retrogress. You know, there's a scripture which says, and God advanced Moses. God advanced Moses and Aaron. He advanced them. It's God who makes you move forward. When God is against you, look at it. And someone said to the people, it is the Lord that advanced Moses and Aaron. Once you disobey this person and he's not happy with you, advancement is over. You will never advance again. That is why people are not advancing. I have seen when I say some this, that, I see they are laughing at me in their heads. In their head, they have something else. But I see a child may not even have or know these ideas. But the woman said it is a good thing for food. It is good, it makes you wise. It's not as he thinks it is. It's not pleasant to the eyes. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. There were other things at the back of the mind of the person as the instruction came. For a long time I've been saying, let's give ourselves to this glorious mission unreservedly. People don't give themselves to the mission. And if they give themselves not unreservedly, they've always had something that one person said to me when I said, let's give ourselves to the work of the Lord. She said, your father has money, so your father has been able to do this and has been able to do this. That is why you are saying we should do that. I mean, she told me at the meeting, that is what is actually in her mind. So she wants to go to America and do whatever. And that's it. Everybody has something else in the back of their mind. That is why people don't enjoy willing obedience, which is a why element, which is an element that is anti-satanic. That's why I said, I've written to you young men, because you are the ones who have overcome the way. Just by not knowing much and just being willing and being obedient, it starts to lead to church growth. If you see people, they'll read the book, Mega Church, they'll read this chapter, that chapter, this is that. They read it, they believe it, they willingly obey, no thinking this, that, whatever. They just do it. The willingness and the obedience, it is anti-demonic. Because it is anti-curse. You see, what people don't realize, the first time the word curse came was used, this Adam and Eve and their issues. And curse comes because of disobedience. They said, if thou shalt not hearken, Deuteronomy 28, if you will not obey me, all these curses from verse 13, verse 14, Deuteronomy 28, 30, if you don't obey me, all these curses are going to come on you. Then he started to list the curse up to around verse 60. Because you will not obey me, then have all these curses. Yeah. If you hearken, I will bless you. Then verse 14, 15. Then he says, if you shall not hearken, it shall come to pass that if you shall not hearken to do, you not obey. That's it. He's starting going to read curses from verse 15. All these curses will come just because you don't obey. So obedience is anti-curse. That's why it's anti-Satan. And young people they usually obey 100% and willingly. Yeah. The rest, I think he doesn't know that there was food. He doesn't know that it makes you wise. That's why he told us that if he had, and I'm sure he won't mind. I'm sure he won't mind because He wants us to be wise. He's our Father. Yes. On the ground, we need wisdom. Like we are here practically on the ground. We need a lot of wisdom. We need food. He doesn't know that we are hungry here. So he'll be very happy that we do this because he wants food for us. He wants wisdom for us. He wants this and that. So, I mean, he's not aware. When he comes, we'll explain to him. And when God came, he said, you are done for. You are now going to regress to become a son. You know, one time I went for a funeral and a man buried his wife. But they didn't bury her. They cremated her. So they said, come the next day for the ashes. You can bury. So we came the next day. The man was holding his wife in a bottle like this and was going to bury her. I looked at her and said, what is this? His wife bent together with the coffin and everything. It's in a small jar. And he was holding his wife and then moving this way to go and put her in the ground. I said, this is what has become of man. For disobedience. You dissolve and disintegrate. Sit down. No, it's too serious. Obedience defeats Satan all the time. Huh? Yeah. The older my pastors are, the more disobedient they are. You can just correlate the age to the obedience. How does that graph go? Like this. This is age. And this is obedience. So the older, that means the graph will go this way. It will go downwards. As the age is going up, obedience is on the left. Highest obedience, and then the age. So it's going down. Yes. So you put obedience. And then you can also put prosperity there. So this is going down. Prosperity is going down. Obedience is going down. Yes. Charlie. Serious. Like when I see an older pastor, it's like it's not that he's against me, but he can't even obey. He can't even do the things. It's just fantastic. They can't obey. Like when the Bible says, go ye into all the world, and you have a congregation of elderly women, and then they say, go ye into all the world. They'll be looking at you. Go where? We should go where? Do you know our problems? This one will say, my diabetes is disturbing me. This one will say, my blood pressure. This one will say, he doesn't know I have blood pressure. He doesn't know about my diabetes. He doesn't know about my knees. I should go to which world? Where is this world? The older they are, the less capable of obedience. It's just fantastic. So I am not a youth pastor. I'm a pastor of people. Anybody who wants to come to me. And you find out most of the churches, the younger people want to come. Because most of the things of God, you cannot obey them. I mean, go into which world? Like, let's be serious. Which world are you going to? Even locally, we are struggling here. You want to take us somewhere? And where are you taking us to now? Somebody's got to be crazy. I should go to the world. Where? From Belize. Yeah. To where? Are you serious? That's why sometimes you have the parents of missionaries. Sometimes they are not happy with the missionaries at all. I say, and I tell them, well, you better go and sort out with your parents. No, the church is not sending parents. The church is sending, every of us have to trust in God and relate well with your parents. If your parents say don't do this, you don't do it. That's all. It's up to you. That's the end of your ministry. That's all. I'm sorry for you, but that's it. Are you normal? You say I should go where? To the world. I met a brother. He was working in Somalia. Yeah. He was describing where they stay. They have a special place separate from the country. And they have people there, they have risk allowance, early death allowance. I mean, different allowances. Danger allowance, death allowance, this allowance, because they can die. But he says it goes there because of the money. If we were to send missionaries just to Honduras here or to El Salvador, you say, everybody should be afraid of disobedience. When you say, I'm doing this, I'm disobeying God. I'm disobeying my father. I'm disobeying what I've been told to do. You should be afraid for yourself. You are bringing on yourself a reversal of your life. Your life will be reversed down to dust. You'll be shocked. Go back. You are dust. Go back. You are not even a pastor. You are not. I can give you 7 names of 7 pastors. When I said this, I could see behind. No, I didn't tell them, but I could see behind me that they are. I could hear like this. What the woman said. That you don't know this, you don't know this, you don't know this, you don't know this. One time I came to America. I told them, don't borrow. Try to live without. All of them said in their head, it's pleasant to the eyes. I said, you don't know. It's pleasant to the eyes. All of them said, it makes you wise. All of them said it's good for food. And I left. After that, the financial crisis came. I remember one brother, he also came to me and said, you know, the last time you came here, you said we shouldn't do this, we should do this. He said, now my houses are almost 20. I have almost 20 houses without debt. I own all these houses, apart from the one I'm staying in. Oh yes, I believe what you said. Don't do this, do this, do this. I don't even know anybody else who has such things. Say a few. That's what. It would be this. You know, he's in Ghana. He doesn't know America. He said whatever, and you see, it's pleasant to the eyes. It is desired. It makes you wise. You are like this. There's always a reason. They despised me. And you see, when I came, they didn't know what it was. It's the most frightening journey I've ever taken, because it was shortly after September 11th. I think 1 week later, and I came to America. When I came to America, there were soldiers at every part of the airport. And they were selling Osama bin Laden toilet paper. You see Osama bin Laden's face on the toilet paper all over the airport. Yeah, it was tense. You are going through security. Soldiers heavily armed in America. It was just 1 week, maximum 2 weeks. And I was also afraid as I was coming. I said, I promise. I said, I'm coming. Oh, they didn't believe all the things I said. They don't believe. You see, people don't prosper. And you see, when God says, go back. You are dust. You originally dust. I was trying to make you great. You will not be anything again. That's the effect of disobedience. Yeah. Young people are more with it. When I went to the First Love Church, I realized that when I make a suggestion, they see it as an instruction. So do you think we could have a class? Oh, yes, we can. So what time should we start? They advanced the discussion faster. And it started to disturb me because it was too fast. Everything which was just an inquiry was taken as this is what we should do. That's the difference. That's why I said I will not allow First Love Church to mix with the UD church, the grown-ups church. Because the older people will transmit disobedience to the young people. And the young people would despise the older people for their disobedience and their lack of prosperity. The Bible says, don't put the new wine with the old wine. It will spoil both the wine and then the skin. So now when I'm with the older people, I don't really expect them to obey me. I just have in my mind, so this is what they can do. They can do something, maybe they can do something. It's okay. Because they are also important. They are also important. But I have a different expectation. Yes. It's true. Sometimes I just try to let it. You are the one who is not prospering. Small things you cannot obey. Number 3. And number 4.